To Valhalla we ride, where the Einherjar feast inside.
From the frozen lands of the north to the scorching deserts of Africa, from Istanbul to the distant shores of America, they came, men of blood and thunder, bodies marked with the ink of their gods, eyes burning with destiny. They were the sons of Odin, warriors on their way to Valhalla. Blood and earth, mead and women, adventure and gold. A wild people who carved their names into the stones of centuries. Heads were severed, bones shattered, but vengeance was eternal. Yet make no mistake, this is not just their story. It is ours. It is the story of humanity itself, of courage, of hunger, of conquest. So steel your heart, because this journey is not for the faint. This is the saga of the Vikings.
The year is 793. In a small Scandinavian village, life flows as it always has, hard, cold, relentless. Men chop wood, women weave, children laugh by the fires. But across the sea, a storm brews. That year, a group of Viking raiders set sail for the English coast. Their destination, the holy monastery of Lindisfarne. When they struck, the world changed forever. Never before had the Christian world seen such savagery. A sacred monastery defiled, monks slaughtered, holy relics stolen. Europe trembled. And from that day on, they would call these men not warriors, but demons. Demons sent by God Himself as punishment. But the North knew better. Something new had begun. The Viking Age.
Who were they? What drove them to sail into the unknown? To understand the Viking, we must begin where they began, in their myths. Before all things, there was only the void, Ginnungagap. And from the clash of fire and ice came a being, Ymir, the first giant, both male and female. From his flesh came life, from his blood the seas, from his skull the sky. And from his bones 3 gods were born, Odin, Vili, and Ve, the creators of man and world alike. Days of the week still whisper their names: Wednesday for Odin, Thursday for Thor, Friday for Freya. The Viking world was divided, yet free. There were jarls, noblemen, and carls, the free. But when a decision had to be made, they gathered as equals. Even their leaders could not command the free by force, only by persuasion, by promises of mead, gold, and glory. They were men who lived loud and drank louder. To them, drunkenness was not shame, it was proof of strength. An Arab traveler, Ibn Fadlan, once wrote, "I have never seen people of more perfect physique, tall, fair like palm trees, yet they are the filthiest of God's creatures. They drink day and night, commit adultery in public, and every man carries an axe." He was horrified and fascinated. In their belief, death was not the end, it was a banquet. Those who died bravely in battle would rise to Valhalla, where Odin's hall awaited with endless feasts and eternal combat. But those who died in bed, in peace, would fall into cold darkness, so they chose war. Even their women wielded power. They could own property, divorce, even fight beside men. Some became priestesses, guiding rituals, sacrifices, and burials. When a great chieftain died, his ship would burn with him, sometimes with his slaves and concubines, willing or not.
They believed blood bound the living and the dead. And though they bathed in blood, they also bathed in water. The Vikings were among Europe's cleanest people. To wash in running water was to touch the divine. Then came the hunger for more, for land, for wealth, for meaning. They set sail on dragon-headed ships, their oars slicing through mist and storm. They had no compass, only the sun, the stars, and a mysterious crystal called Iceland spar, which let them see the sun through clouds. Year 860, 200 ships approached Constantinople. The Byzantines were unprepared. The city burned, thousands died, and for the first time, the East met the North. Yet soon after, they made peace. Vikings were allowed to trade in the empire, to eat, drink, and even bathe in its famed baths. The emperor himself recruited them as his elite bodyguard, the Varangians. In Hagia Sophia, one of them carved into the marble, "Halfdan was here." That mark remains to this day. They discovered Iceland, then Greenland, and centuries before Columbus, they reached America. They were not conquerors, they were wanderers, dreamers, seekers. But time, the one enemy they could not slay, was closing in. 1066, the last great Viking king, Harald Hardrada, fell in England. The Viking Age had ended, not with defeat, but with transformation. The sons of Odin became kings of Europe. They traded Valhalla for heaven. And so, the storm quieted. The sails lowered. The axes fell silent. All that remains are their stories. Stories of courage, blood, and fate. Stories that shaped our world. This is the saga of the North. This is Vexarapia history.